Hi, thank you for buying the upgrade kit for the Maker Knife Batch 1. It's a pretty easy operation, but I would like to tell you a couple of things, so let's get it started. The first thing you want to do is obviously taking a screwdriver. You want to have a T6, and the other one you need is the one that I provide with the Maker Knife, which is just a flathead. First thing you want to do is you want to remove this screw, which is what allows you to separate the EDM part from the aluminum. So let's do that. You don't need to take it off completely, as long as it's out of the way. You see it from here. This should be enough. And now the EDM slides out. Pretty easy. Let's put this on the side. And next thing you want to do, this is your new one, you want to remove the blade holder plate. So you want to remove these 3 screws. You won't need this one anymore, so give it to the dog. You can still use these screws, but we put spares in the little bag here. So now you move that to here. You just want to put them in, and then you tighten them all together when they are well placed. At least that's what I do. Okay, so it's not tightened completely. You check that everything is fine and moves. Oh, one thing, I'm glad that I did it because I know some of you will do. When you put the plate, you want to have this part pressed down, otherwise you won't be able to press it in. This is actually very important. I'm glad that I just did it by mistake. I mean, that I plan on doing it. So if you see here, you want to have this thing pressed in, and then you put the plate. Otherwise it's going to be stuck outside, and that's not what you want. Now you want to check that this one moves up and down. If it does, it means you're good to tighten all 3 screws. Now you check that everything moves. This moves, this moves. So this part is finished. Now you want to take the aluminum again, or the aluminium, and you want to remove all the top screws. It's nice if you set them apart in the right order, so you know what goes where. I mean, it's not too difficult to figure out, but some are different. You also have, if you still have it, in the package, you have a little instruction thing with what screws goes where, so just know it. Actually, what I normally do is I just remove the clip like that, and then you can keep the plate with the screw in place, because you're gonna need them later. Now, what you need to do, you need to remove this screw here, because this is what caused most of the problems. So if you bought the upgrade kit, it's probably because of this little guy that it breaks easily if you don't set it right, or in many different occasions. So you can just actually screw it in all the way until it pops out. Remove it. And while we're here, we want to remove the spring as well. You can actually keep this one if you don't have any problem, and keep this one as spare, but the new one is slightly thicker, so if you want to stop things, it's probably better. But the design, it's the same. It's going to work either way. But for this video, I'm going to remove it so you know how to do it. So you just remove these 2, put it aside, you place it in, It's very important that you don't screw in completely this one. You're gonna know why in a little bit. So you want to have it still a little loose. Now this can still move, and you want to take your new EDM part and put it opposite, in the opposite way in, so it gives you the right measurement. See, you can press this one and it gives you more or less the right measurement to where you want to tighten these two screws. So you keep this in place and you screw this once. It doesn't need to be super tight or you're gonna break them. All right, now it's time to open up the little bag here and take out the black screw. It's a cone tip screw. Now, we had a problem with this screw. Last year we used the red Loctite, we put them and it was fine. This time, since we put them by hand, some have it a little bit too much, and there is a risk that it gets stuck in here and you can't remove it unless you use like fire or something. It's a very powerful thing, which is a bad and a good thing. So the trick is, you want to put it in. If you feel that it's too tight, you just want to remove it. You don't want to go in all the way, and try the other one. And a good thing to do anyway is you want to go in all the way and get it out from the other side, as I just did. This removes a little bit of the red Loctite and it prevents the problem that I just said. Also, it changes based on like heat when you're doing it, and in here it's super cold right now, so it's less of a problem, but you want to keep that in mind. If you want to really be sure that it's not going to be a problem, you can put the screw like 15 seconds, a minute to acetone, so it's going to remove the red Loctite and it's not going to be stuck in. Okay, you want to have this one not completely in, and then you put the EDM already inside and see if everything goes right. You want to feel the right tension. If it's too loose or too tight, or you hear strange noises, you want to make sure, like, change the spring here. You want to set it like in a different way, maybe tighter or looser, until you have the feeling that you like. All right, now you want to tighten this one, still when it's open, and check if it locks. Mine does. If it doesn't, you might have tightened this one too much, so you want to lose it a little bit and it's going to work. All right, now it's time to put the top plate in. So you want to tighten the top plate, mostly this one, before you put the clip on. You make sure it's straight. It's always better that you don't tie them all super tight. Maybe like after a day of use, you check all if it's fine, but you don't want to over tighten them. Okay, now you check that everything works, and then you set this screw here, the cone screw. So while it's closed, you tighten it until you hear or you feel that it's the right tension that you want. You might want to do like some testing for this one, and maybe you set it to a certain point and then you use it for a while, you see if you like it or not, and then you go back. You probably want to put blue Loctite, not the red one. All right, and then if you don't have it, in this case I removed it. If you lost the little screw here, we gave a spare in here. This is very small. You want to do it in a place where there's no risk that you lose it forever, because this is like a 2mm screw. It's very easy to lose. Probably I'm going to show you how to lose it. Now, as you know, this one is responsible for the closing action. So the tighter it is, the easier it is to close it. Also, like, everyone has like a different feeling. I like it super easy to close, like this one. For me, it would be perfect. For me, this is too loose. I want to tighten a little bit. Perfect. So it's done. You just want to put the blade in. At this point, you should know how to do it. So thank you. Well, actually, I'll have to look at that camera. Thank you, and I hope you like your new maker knife.